Hello there, and welcome to Spellcaster Academy. Have you come to register for the semester? Okay, great. Well, let me just get the registration form pulled up here. Okay, so starting with the most important information, what is your astrological sun sign? Okay. Yes, we always ask that first thing because we tend to divide the students up by their astrological sign, so you'll be housed in the same wing as those of the same astrological sign. We find that the different signs tend to share certain magical predispositions with those of the same sign, so we like to kind of group you all close to those of your own sun sign. So, also, what is your moon sign? Okay. And your rising sign, please. Okay. And now for some of the more basic questions. What is your name? Your first name? Okay. And your last name, please. Okay. And how do you spell the latter half of that? Okay. Just double checking. And what is your nearest Owl Post receiving office, please? Okay. And your address where you currently reside. Okay. And now your date of birth, please. Okay. And we'll need some emergency contact information, just in case there's a time when a spell goes wrong and you need to be picked up or something like that. We do need to have an emergency contact on file. Who would that be? Okay. And their nearest Owl Post receiving office. Okay. And what is their relationship to you? Okay. And now, are you a hereditary witch? Did you inherit your power from your parents? Oh, of course, we allow everyone, whether they're hereditary or not, but it does help us to know if you are a hereditary witch, because parents tend to pass their areas of expertise onto their children. So if your parents were particularly skilled in certain magical areas, generally those talents would pass on to their children. And that's a great way for us to kind of guide you and maybe help you pursue a path in some of the magical areas that you'll already have inherited talents for. Though, of course, we're not going to make someone take classes that they're not interested in. You should always take the courses for the path that you yourself would like to follow. But no, you're not a hereditary witch? Okay. In that case, where did you receive your initial magical education? Okay. And did you seek that out because you found out you were a witch at a young age? Or did you attend the school and then find out you were a witch? Okay. And now on to some of the more fun questions. What major are you interested in pursuing here? Yes, what would you like your main focus to be? Divination? Okay. And what would you like your secondary focus to be? Your minor? Healing? Okay. And are you interested in any elective classes for extra credit, or just because there are certain things that interest you? Yes, we allow students to take up to 3 classes that have nothing to do with their degree curriculum, and it's great if there's something that you've been eyeing but you don't want to make that your full field of study. You can just grab a few elective classes and enjoy the learning. So are there any that shout out to you that aren't part of your divination or healing? Okay. And okay. And do you want to go for a third? You do. Okay, which one would that be? Oh, excellent choice. I've taken that class and it's a lot of fun. So now, do you have any faculty preference? Yes, any teachers that you heard of that you might have heard are great teachers or a lot of fun that you'd like to learn from? Okay, her classes do tend to fill up very fast, so let me just check to see if there's any openings here. It looks like she does have 2 slots left for the early morning sessions. Would you like me to reserve one of those slots for you? You would, okay. What was that? Oh, yes. You'll receive your itinerary, which will list all the different classes in your curriculum and the various time slots that are available for them. And there's usually a few different time slots available, so you'll be able to choose what works well for your schedule. We cater to both early morning people and night owls here, so whatever works for you, you'll be able to choose that time slot and then submit for that class. It's just that hers fill up a little bit fast, so we have to register you quickly if you want those spots. So, now, do you have any medical conditions that we should be aware of? Yeah, just anything that could potentially be a hazard, or, things that we need to know, like, are you taking any medications for something like exposure to a salt circle as a young child, or do you have any allergies to glass bottles? Because, of course, we don't want you going into anaphylaxis during potions class. That would not be very much fun. Or were you bitten by a werewolf as a child? Anything like that. You have ground magnetism, so you have a little bit of trouble getting your broom off the ground. Okay, I'll just write that down. That's not too much to worry about, and actually we can probably help you with that while you're here, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, all of our dorms are single-dwelling dorms. All of the rooms are single-dwelling simply because we had too many accidents when students were accidentally casting magic spells on their roommates. You're sleeping at night and sleep talking, and next thing you know, you wake up and your roommate is a little toad hopping around their bed. So since we have gone to single dorm rooms, it has really cut down on the magical mishaps. So if you're someone who likes a single dorm, that works great for you. And if you prefer roommates, there is always plenty of time to socialize with your schoolmates. Now, based on your astrological sign, your room is going to be in the vanishing wing of the castle. It's not as scary as it sounds. It's just every once in a while it disappears and you'll have to run around looking for it or wait till it reappears. So it's one of the safer dorm wings, actually. Like there's one on the back side of the castle, which is where the armory is, and occasionally the armor statues come to life and chase around the students in that wing. Personally, I don't like the thought of being chased around by a suit of metal with an axe, so I'd rather have to look for my wing once in a while when it's vanished. So you are in the vanishing wing. And each dorm wing has its own bathroom, but there is also a public bathroom where all the students can go. It is up at the top of the castle, and there's really not that much danger in that wing. The main problem is that it is 13 floors up, so you do have to climb 13 flights of stairs. No, we actually do not allow anyone to fly up there. We have a strict no brooms in the castle rule. We were just having too many mishaps with people zooming at high speeds around the corridors and knocking people over and crashing into things. So we put that rule into effect about 75 years ago, and it's really lowered the number of broom-related accidents on the premises. So no brooms inside, but there's plenty of room for brooms outside. And there is a dueling pit in the basement of the castle. That's an excellent place to go if you want to practice any of the new spells you've been learning. It is 100% supervised, so if one of the spells goes wrong, there's always somebody there to help out very quickly, and they can often anticipate when something isn't going to work and protect whoever you're practicing with. So it's a great place to practice spells and not have to worry about the consequences. In the middle of the castle, you will find the library, which is filled with thousands upon thousands of spell books, some more recent and some quite ancient, as well as many rolls of ancient scrolls. Those do have to be checked out because they are so old. They're very delicate, so they have to be checked out with permission. You can't just go and grab them. No, you're not allowed to remove any of the scrolls from the library. The spell books you can actually check out and take back to your room to study, but the scrolls, being so ancient and delicate, do have to remain in the library itself. If you go down there and talk to the librarian, he'll be very happy to discuss everything with you. That library is his life, so he'll be delighted when anyone shows any interest, and he'll give you the whole list of procedures and tell you about the protective gloves you have to wear and things like that when you're handling such delicate old scrolls. But it really is worth it. There's a lot of just fabulous old spell information in those scrolls, so I do recommend checking that out at some point. And then, of course, we do have a broom track just outside the castle, which is perfect for keeping up your broom skills and racing brooms with your friends. And you can also enlist the help of one of the personal trainers there who could help you with your ground magnetism and teach you how to have a faster and higher kickoff from the ground when you first jump on the broom. So no, there's no extra fee. That's complimentary with your tuition. And then if you head to the back of the castle, you will find the cafeteria, which is perfect for conjuring up any meal that you can possibly imagine. the only thing you have to be aware of is that it is guarded by a sphinx, so you will have to guess the sphinx's riddle every time you go into the cafeteria. But, most of the time they're not too hard. He only occasionally eats someone, so as long as you guess correctly, you'll be just fine. Do we have a pool? Oh, good heavens, no. If we had a pool, half the academy would be melted by the end of the day. Water and witches not mixing so well, so no, we definitely do not have a pool. So, I'm going to finish getting you all registered. On your way out the door here, you'll be able to grab a welcome package. You'll see the little cubbies right outside the door. Just grab a welcome package there, and that will have all of your basic tools to start your lessons with. It will have your robe and your hat. It will have a basic starter wand. Just very simple, no frills, but later on, as the semester progresses, you will learn how to create your own custom wands, and you can create different wands for different types of magic, and you can personalize them and make them as flashy or as plain as you would like. That's the wonderful option of learning how to make your own wand. And then you'll have 3 potion vials, which you'll use for any potions you need to make for any of the classes in your curriculum. You'll receive a basic tarot deck, which should come in handy for your divination classes. And then there will also be a satchel with 10 basic crystals, quartz, amethyst, turquoise, things like that. And those will come in handy both in divination and healing, and probably a few of your elective classes. Crystals always come in handy for so many types of magic. You'll also receive a basic spell book in the welcome package, which is not as in-depth as the many books that you can find in the library. It's just a basic spell book, kind of going over the basics of spell work and the ins and outs of casting spells. So it gives you a good framework. And then, of course, you can build upon that by checking out the many books available in the library on specific types of magic and things like that. And then, of course, you'll receive a basic starter broom in the welcome package as well, just for any students who don't already have a broom. Of course, if you have your own broom, you're welcome to keep that. And at some point during the semester, you will also receive broom making instructions. That's a fascinating class. It tells you how to make your own custom broom so that you can make it do alterations for speed or maneuverability, and again, you can kind of personalize it with your own style to make it very much your own. So you'll be able to do that later in the season, but for now you'll just have the basic starter broom. And so you want to take that welcome package back to your room and get used to everything in it. Let me see. You are in room 1106, so take that back to your room and get comfy. Classes start in 2 days, so that should give you plenty of time to kind of wander around the castle and get familiar with everything, maybe browse a few spell books, things like that, and then you can start your classes and get your magical education underway. Okay, so go ahead and grab your welcome package, and welcome to the Spellcasters Academy.